50. That's the number of watches I've reviewed in 2024. That's precisely one a week. Most were good, some were decent, one turned out to be a complete fraud. Looking back, a few really stood out, so on the occasion of this last 2024 video, I tried picking the 10 best watches I've reviewed this year. Without further ado, here's the list starting with 10th place. One of the 4 debuts on this list, Tenet Somerset still is one of the most intricately designed watches I've reviewed so far. The 38 by 46mm watch ticked almost all of the boxes a Gada watch should, with a couple of notable exceptions, lacking a stainless steel bracelet and an automatic movement. That being said, offering 200 meters of water resistance without sacrificing the slim 10mm profile, and even more outrageously getting this rating on a push-pull crown are testament to a design that not only offers 4 different types of finishing on its dial, but is also extremely functional. I have to admit, Somerset gets only 10th place because of subjective criteria. First, the model I was loaned was the least spectacular of the 3 that were in the production at the time. Second, the strap it came with dulled the watch further, as evidenced by how it sprang to life once I have started experimenting with different straps. Also, there were 9 other watches I liked better. Another stellar debut, Alato Arvet is one of the 3 Swedish watches in this top 10. Sweden is one of the engines of the Scandinavian revolution that took the microbrand world by storm, and Arvet is a fine example of the marriage between paying respect to vintage design and adding in a strong personal touch. By no means an homage, Arvet is a very mature watch, especially for a debutante. At 38mm, it wears slightly larger due to a somewhat slab-sided construction, and the bold polishing and striking Yoshed dials give it that extra dimension that separates Gada watches from daily beaters. Focusing on its unique dial could lead one to overlook Artifact's stellar bracelet integration. I truly believe this is the best designed integrated bracelet watch, and its dial is just the cherry on the cake. Calling Artifact a debut would downplay 5 years of hard work that Kevin has put into refining it. More and more people are jumping on the Pedral appreciation train, and that is extremely exciting, as finally getting some financial recognition will undoubtedly do wonders for turning Kevin's amazing ideas into steel reality. I wholeheartedly recommend checking out Pedral's website, where one can choose from no less than 14 variants of the 39mm Artifact and also have a peek at some exciting new projects. 7th place belongs to 2024's release of a brand I'm fascinated by. Nemo is Horizon's 3rd watch and does a fantastic job at getting cues from their previous models while simultaneously announcing their future direction. I would call this a neo-vintage design, uniquely original, but the reason it didn't make top 3 is an insufficiently researched on-the-fly micro-adjustment clasp. If they got it right, this would have been the best microbrand watch of the year, but in my opinion, they sort of botched it. Still, the 40mm diver is one of the most original watches out there, and their trademark date integration and funky fonts are excellently complemented by the unusual bracelet and oversized crown. I am quite proud of being the first ever YouTube reviewer of this watch. For more than half a year, it flew under the radar, but in recent months, it seems to have picked up to the level of attention it deserves. While it looks extremely familiar, Contra is original enough to enter this top 10, but what truly recommends it is the quality of its build for the modest price asked. I kept saying I'm not a diver type of watch enthusiast, but it took me meeting this watch to finally understand I am not prejudiced against divers. I'm just tired of endless rehashes of submariners and seamasters. This is a very tough act to follow as it's the highest rated debut in my top. I am looking forward to see what's next from Bell Hamel. I have a confession to make. This top 10 is something I'm working on since March or April. I don't even think I had reviewed 10 watches at the time, but this one has stayed in the top 5 since. Definitely not a watch for everyone, especially at 45mm across, but one watch that certain someones will love forever. This is the stratosphere of what microbrands can do, and I just hope we won't have to wait 5 more years for a new Arcturus. I prefaced the recent review of V by talking about luxury. And for some of us, luxury means exactly what this watch is. A rather discreet, inconspicuous watch that takes a simple design and executes it to perfection. V is the antithesis of prestige luxury. Its mission is not to massage a frail ego by attracting envious glasses, but to slide discreetly under a cuff, leaving as much to the imagination as what can be observed. One of the best bracelets I've experienced gives this watch the versatility to dress it down. No one wearing a tracksuit, even a $3,000 tracksuit, will get this watch, and that's absolutely fine. This should hardly come as a surprise for anyone. Microbrand-produced chronographs are few and far between, so when the Koreans at Pitzman launched this vertical clutch wonder, it was just a matter of how well they put it together to determine what spot they will take in any 2024 top worth its salt. And well put together this watch is. If it only measured a couple of millimeters less and had some sort of micro adjustment, this would have won first place, no questions asked. Comparing it with watches costing 20 times more will only be detrimental to those expensive timepieces and will vindicate savvy customers' decision to buy. Revisiting my 2024 reviews playlist, I noticed the title of the Feynman Once video, the best watch I've ever reviewed, yet the Aventurine dial dress watch has to settle for the second place in today's top 10. So, what changed? Well, it's a combination of my increasing appreciation for the number one watch and the fact that I can't get over Feynman One's design flaw. I still believe the protruding crown at 4 o'clock is a blemish on the otherwise perfect design of this timepiece. I'm still holding hope against hope that one day this watch will be remade in a thinner quartz-powered variant that will allow syncing the crown flush with the case. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this watch. Coming from a guy that harbors a certain resentment to divers, crowning the second variant of Shellback as the best watch of the 50 I've reviewed this year might seem madness, but the Swedes have actually created way more than just a diver. This is the equivalent of the fabled little black dress that's the cornerstone of any coquette woman out there. There's such balance in this original design, there's so much elegant precision, I cannot look at it as a diver, but as a great watch. Period. There are watches out there that have a better design case, a better design dial, or a better bracelet. There are more affordable watches out there, and there are more original ones too. Thing is, this is the best overall watch that I've reviewed this year, and if I were to spend my money on only one of them, this would be it. What about you? Do you feel I overlooked any of your favorites? I leave a link to my 2024 playlist here for you to check out. Thank you all for a fantastic year. See you in 2025 with the mandatory update to the state of my collection. Here you can check how I started the year. Happy holidays, friends!